Hello everyone, my name is Matthias Allen here to review HBO's The Last of Us Episode 2 Infected. Now, and also keep in mind, spoilers in this review. At the beginning of this episode, it starts in Indonesia in 2003 with a scientist finding out about the fungus and how it could spread. This adds a little more of the world building. This is something that was added in the show and the video game. It's a it's a nice, good world building to see what happens before what was going on in a different part of the world. See how this whole fungus spreads pretty fast. Now then it jumps 20 years later back to Tess, Joe, and Ellie as they try and make their way through the city to get to the fireflies. Now you do see the side of the building on its edge, leaning against another building, a pretty high mark in the video game, and as they show in the show series as well too. Now, in this one, they do you see more of a conversation between Joel and Ellie, which is very good, by the way. I love those two guys, Joel, not Joel, I'm sorry, Pedro Pascal and Ellie Ramsey. They are such great on screen. He Pedro plays a great Joel. Ramsey plays a great Ellie. I'm really convinced. I'm very happy about this casting right here. And then as the show goes on, this is when they actually hit the museum, which is also in the game, where they encounter clickers. And now this is where you get the first up close of the clickers now, where they're all mutated with the fungus standing out. And it is practical effects that they're using on them. All makeup on the actors, and it looks good. And in that museum, that's where kind of like we get like the first survival like fight scene with them, as Joe and Ellie and Tess trying to get their way out of there, and that's what you do in the game as well too, in that museum right there, in the game, which was. It brought memories back to the game. Like the way they're shooting this and how they're editing this and putting it together, it's making it feel like it's part of the game right here, which is phenomenal, right here. And there was just two clickers. They did a couple fire rounds, and what they did was they like had Joel just like running around, just like what you do in the game, and going like, oh man, let's bring back the game. And shameless plug here, I'll be live streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch at Lightspeed Streams of The Last of Us, the remaster edition. So, but as they defeat the fungus, as they defeat the clickers, they got out of the museum. And another thing that they added, so one thing they did take out was the spores, where you had to put a gas mask on. They took that out, where I read online, and the thing they added is, with this fungus, it's like, almost like a root in a way, like a root of a tree, as it kind of slowly spreads out. And it could spread up to a mile, and then it could start kind of controlling all these dead bodies, infecting them, and passing it on to other hosts as well too, and it just grows and grows and grows, and that shows how very invasive it is, like weeds in a way. So that's another thing they added. So like if you like kill one of them at a certain distance, the fungus will send a whole horde of them like towards your way, and they know where you're at. Which this plays into when they get to the point where they find the fireflies, which they all find them dead. All the fireflies dead, and that's when like Tess, and this is where like Tess's character really comes out, where she says like, Astral, you need to get Ellie to the fireflies at the hospital. You gotta make your mission, because this is when you see Tess gets bitten in this episode at the meeting point, and since she got bitten, and shows like how the fungus is really growing fast on her. Ellie got bitten for the second time, or she get bitten, and then Ellie shown like Joel and Tess like her wounds are healing, saying like, wait a minute, she's immune to this disease. So, and that just shows that Tess is like, okay, we need to bring her back, but also she wants to make up all the wrong that she did, and giving Joel a chance as well too to make the wrong he did. Like Joel hesitated, but after saying this, and Tess made the ultimate sacrifice. Now in the game, it was the security guard from the quarantine zone coming in there and trying to find them. In this one, it is the runners and clickers coming in trying to get them. And what Tess did was there was some gas cans in there, started pulling all the way around. And the one thing I would definitely wish they would have done, because there was a bunch of grenades she poured out, and as the runners and clickers were coming in, she had a lighter and she had a hard time lighting it up. And I thought, like, you should have had a hand grenade with you to pull the pin and let it blow up. But this was just adding suspense, but also a little bit weird how the clickers was passing along the fungus to the other hosts. What they do is, like, you see these little kind of like worms sticking out of their mouth, and what they do, they end up kissing them. It's like, it was really gross. It was gross and creepy. But that's when, like, Tess was just like, finally she got the lighter on, and then boom, lit the floor on fire and blew up the place and took a bunch of those runner clickers out. And that's pretty much how the episode ends, as Joel and Ellie start continuing their way to the Fireflies and try and find their way over there. So my final thoughts on this is, this was another great episode that added more world building to it and staying true for the game. So I highly recommend this. If you haven't played the game, that's fine. You can watch the episodes and still enjoy it. It's amazing at what they did. And Neil Druckmann directed this episode, and he did a great job. He directed the games as well too. So I'm looking forward to more episodes. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And tune in next week for episode 3 review of The Last of Us show series. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Yes, ma'am.